Hey everyone, it's Michelle with Bariatrics and Tips. Welcome to our live recipe demonstration. I am so glad you're here. Thanks for bearing with me while we've had to do some rescheduling. But I think you're going to like what we have in store for you today. Today is all about soup. And today I'm going to make for you, or I kind of already made for you, lemon artichoke chicken soup with spinach. It is a great, hearty, very comforting food. I love it. It always makes me feel warm inside, and I know I'm getting good nutrition. I've got my recipe up, so you'll see me probably turning my eyes to my laptop so I can make sure that I quote you the proper ingredients. I also made some notes because soup is a pretty hot topic, especially for a bariatric patient. I know there are, notwithstanding like soups where it's just liquid. And I know we hear all the time, should I be eating soup? Because is soup a liquid? Or is it a solid? Or should I be eating it or drinking it? Or should I be doing both? It's a very controversial topic, but really try not to overthink it. Soup is truly good food, okay? So you are going to see just what I have to show you. Hi Melissa, glad that you're here. Looks like we got a lot of people looking today. I'm really glad. I want this to be as interactive as we can be. So if you have questions about anything, if you are wanting to know more about the ingredients that I'm about to show you, please make sure you chirp in. I don't have my camera girl today. I'm actually doing it by myself, which means I can see the camera and I can see if you're chirping in. So please make sure you ask questions. I know, one of the main things we all have in common is that we are bariatric patients or we're gearing up to have bariatric surgery. But even if you're striving for overall health or wellness, you are in the right place, because a bariatric diet, a bariatric lifestyle is actually a common sense lifestyle. So never should you feel deprived of having this or having that. You have a huge opportunity at a redo. You are going to live life to the fullest, find flavor in everything that you do. And one of the things that I make sure that I do is I make the choice as to whether or not I can have something. So many times I hear people say, well, can you have this or can you have that? And what I tell them in the most non-passive aggressive way available is, yes, I can choose whatever I want to have. Now, granted, if I don't make a good choice, I'm probably going to pay the consequences. But overall, I can decide what I put in my mouth. And it's very empowering to be able to nourish your body and to be able to do things like create soups and meals and, maybe even remake some of your favorite meals. So I'm going to show you that today with lemon artichoke chicken soup with spinach, okay? So I'm gonna flip over my laptop real quick. Drinking versus eating. Well, first of all, let's talk education with the soup. I know we do we depend a lot on broth, like for a pre-bariatric diet, maybe right after surgery. And it's great all around, but remember, soup fills you up. Hot things, heat expands, so hot things are naturally going to fill you up faster. So make sure that you're savoring the bites. You are, if you're drinking your soup, if you're eating your soup, because you can do both, make sure you kind of go slow so that you have time to feel the effects of being full. That's why tea and coffee are sometimes so filling too, because heat expands. So just know that. Make sure that when you're choosing a soup, look for the high protein, okay? Try to avoid things that are gonna make you sick or create a dumping syndrome if you have gastric bypass like myself. Cream soups are the huge culprit. Even like cream of mushroom soup, it can sometimes be too much. And I know one bite or one sip is sometimes all it takes for me to go from being okay to being completely sick. So really choose your ingredients wisely. Choose high protein things. Canned chicken breast is a great standby. In fact, it's one of the ingredients for today's soup recipe. So you can use salad shrimp. You could use chunks of chicken sausage or ground turkey or ground chicken. Lemon zest and lemon juice are great ingredients. Fresh vegetables, fresh herbs like cilantro, parsley, and dill, 3 of my all-time favorites. So many possibilities, and the really good thing about the soup recipe I'm about to show you, or any recipe for that matter, use it as a skeleton recipe. Take something out of it if you don't like it, put something into it. You get to be the decider, okay? So edamame is a great high protein, low carb bean. You can choose beans or lentils, but really those are pretty carb rich. So while they're the good carbs for you and the good fiber and the good protein, you want to make sure that you're really kind of trying to gauge your portions accordingly, because again, too much can be the difference between getting sick and not getting sick, okay? What else? I'm looking at my notes. I think that is all I have for you. I want to switch over to the recipe. Now, one of the things that I have the hardest problem doing, my motto is to live large and cook small, but sometimes you can't cook small no matter how you try. Old habits die hard. And soup is one of those things where I try so hard to make a small batch and I end up making a huge batch. And so in the essence of time and space, I've already made the soup, but I've got the ingredients out here that I will show you. I didn't want to make a double batch because I want to be fair to the other soups in the world, and I don't want to have to eat this for like 2 weeks straight. So remember, soup freezes beautifully. You can't go wrong. Even if you make too much, you can still freeze it in batches, okay? But the chicken lemon artichoke soup with spinach is great. It's got a ton of fresh ingredients. So I'm gonna just kind of show you and tell you the ingredients, and then I'm gonna serve myself a bowl and show you that too, okay? So the first thing you wanna deal with is a large carrot. I buy my carrots by the bulk. I don't buy them in bags. I just like to be able to choose my carrots. So I also scrub my carrots and I cut the ends off, but I do not peel the skin. Most of the nutrients, from what I've read and from what I've learned over the years, is right on top, and there's just no reason. As long as it's clean, you should be able to eat it. So a large carrot chopped. You can chop it in half moons. You can chop it finely. You can dice it if you'd like. Personally, with soup, I like to finely dice it because, again, we are dealing with small tummies, and we want to make sure if we have a larger chunk of vegetable, maybe we're more likely to chew it, maybe we're less likely to chew it and get it mashed down so it can accommodate, it can go down the way it's supposed to. But if you're cutting things really small, you're doing half the work for yourself. So I like to finely dice my carrot, okay? The same thing goes true with celery. I like to half it down the middle, and then I like to cut both those halves, and I like to dice them on the bias, which is on the diagonal. It just looks prettier, okay? So we want 2 stalks of celery chopped, any way you want, okay? We want a yellow onion, also chopped. I forgot to take the garlic out of the refrigerator, but we do want 2 cloves of garlic. And the beauty of this recipe, once again, is that you can put more or less in. I love garlic. I don't believe in my heart of hearts that there's a way you can OD on garlic. So put whatever you want in, okay? Olive oil and salt and pepper to taste. The olive oil, just about a teaspoon or a tablespoon. And what we're gonna do is we're going to, what am I trying to say? This should be a gag reel. You're gonna actually dice those up and put them in like a cast iron skillet and just kind of make sure that those are nice and cooked through, and the olive oil and the salt and pepper will give it some flavor. But I just got ahead of myself, okay? We want 2 cups of shredded chicken. Now, I've done chicken in the past where I have poached it or boiled it and then shredded it myself, and that's super easy if I've got time on my hands. But I also want to make it very clear that canned chicken is a wonderful substitution. This is a really large can of canned chicken, and I got it from Sam's Club. I always love to get my canned chicken breast there, and I think I only have 2 of these bad boys left, so it's almost time to reorder. You'll want to drain it, and then you can just use it. It's perfect. It's ready for you. It's great. Okay, so then we want to go to artichoke hearts. Hopefully you like artichoke hearts as much as I do. I just use it. My recipe calls for 6 ounces, so that's half of the can here. And these are quartered, but I actually like to take my knife and I like to dice them up a little bit more. That way I get more bang for my buck and it shreds kind of, and then you have more per spoonful. So artichoke hearts, yummy. Okay, then we want to do an 8-ounce bag of frozen chopped spinach and a 12-ounce bag of frozen cauliflower rice. Okay, so I went today, thank God I had this in the freezer. They didn't have a single container, single package of any brand of cauliflower rice. I like to buy the small containers as opposed to the big bags because just for portion control, because I'm trying to cook small and trying, sometimes succeeding. Okay, spinach, same thing. The really cool thing about using frozen chopped spinach in a soup recipe is that when you're making it with something else, you have to worry about just getting all that moisture out of there and really wringing it out. But when you're putting it in soup, you don't have to worry about that so much. So you could even put this in frozen and just let it, as it cooks, it'll thaw, or you can thaw it out in the microwave beforehand. Either way, it's totally fine. Okay, and then we're gonna do hold on, I have to, the juice and the zest of 2 lemons. And I very, very rarely will juice a lemon before I zest it. This zest is amazing flavor, and if you like lemon, you should be using the zest all the time. A really good trick is, I wonder if I can, hold on, I'm gonna put a really good trick is that before you process the lemon, before you zest it, before you cut it to juice it, give it a roll, okay? Because that's gonna help the juice come out, and it's a really good best practice, okay? So there, I'm still back, good. All right, along the lines of the cauliflower rice is my secret weapon, and I wanted to save it for last because it requires some good discussion. And so I use a combination in this recipe of riced cauliflower and shirataki rice shaped pasta. Okay, so shirataki pasta is made from like I always say it wrong, konjac flour. I'm probably saying it wrong, so if I am, I apologize. But what I love about this, it's kind of like a filler food. They have it in spaghetti shape, fettuccine, penne, pardon me, and it's very low in carbs. It's not a protein source, but it's a great way to emulate pasta, okay? This happens to be my favorite brand, to each their own. I can get it locally at the grocery store, and here in West Michigan, Meijer is my preferred grocery store. It's in the pasta section on the top shelf. This is about $4.25 a bag. There's 2 bags in here, so I was gonna rip it open and show you guys, okay? Each serving is only 15 calories. It comes in 2 pouches, and if I hold it really close, you can kind of see, the rice, can't you? So what I do is I just put it in like a strainer. The main thing that you want to do is you want to really rinse it. I like to rinse it in really hot water. Even though I'm going to put it into soup, I want to make sure that I'm getting it thoroughly rinsed. And the instructions actually recommend that too. So it says use it the way you would use any other rice. It says rinse thoroughly and drain, squeeze out all the extra water. It even says you could blot it with a paper towel. I don't think you have to go that far if you're putting it in soup. When I make like fried rice, I'll blot it. And then The really good thing about rice-shaped pasta or this cognac flour is that very similarly to other ingredients like tofu, it takes on the flavor of what you cook it with. So you really want to make sure that you add a lot of flavor. Use your spices, use your lemon juice, and that's what I do. Like when I'm making fried rice, I'll use it because then it's just kind of complementing everything that you cook with it. So I only use one package at a time if I'm making my soup as a single batch, cooking small. You gauge it the way you want, you be you, it's totally fine. Okay, and that being said, if you have any questions about the rice-shaped pasta, let me know. This is La Viva is the brand, and hold on, I'll show you right there. So if you're in West Michigan or if you have a Meijer grocery store, you can get it there. It really, I don't know, I've tried maybe 4 or 5 brands, and I just like this the best. I'm not a fan of the penne, but I'm a huge fan of the fettuccine and the spaghetti noodles. Very, very good. And then you just want 4 cups at least of chicken stock, and you can gauge that to your liking too. Some people like a soupier soup, some people like a thicker soup, and or a chunkier soup, and that's where you can decide. But my recipe calls for 4 cups. And by the way, you will get this recipe on our Facebook page at 3:30 in another 15 minutes, okay? So you're gonna combine all these. You wanna make sure that you're cooking the veggies in that 1 tablespoon of olive oil until they are soft. Season it with salt and pepper. And you can choose whether or not you wanna put your garlic in with the veggies or in with the soup. I've done it both ways, and I think it's delicious either way. So again, I think that just has to be with a preference. You can add more salt or lemon as needed. It ends up making a very flavorful soup, as you will see here in just a moment. I'm gonna lower the heat. Oh, it looks so good. Actually, it really smells good too. I can smell the lemon and I can smell the garlic. Okay, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring you over here with me. Hello. Remember, I am not the camera is not my forte, okay? So cooking is my forte, so not a very good camera person. But here's the soup. Can you see it okay? Whoop, hold on. There we go. All right, hold on. I'm coming back. I need to get my ladle. And Missy, if you're watching, I'll see you later. All right, so hold on. It won't let me, I think I can, oh, there we go. I can change. All right, take a look, you guys. The carrot is great. Now, in hindsight, these carrots ended up being a little bit bigger than I had wanted them to be, but it's okay. It's still yummy. And guess what I am having for a snack. I haven't had lunch yet, so I will have that. So let's have some. Hold on. I am gonna put my bowl. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. Okay, there we go. You can see, fun fact, I don't know that you would be able to see which is the cauliflower rice. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm horrible at this. Which is the cauliflower rice and which is the rice-shaped pasta. Look at that, it's amazing. All right, so I am going to put me back on camera. Hello, all right. Let me put you back on the countertop with me. Hold on, I gotta get a spoon. Otherwise it's gonna be pretty messy. All right, so here we go. Here is soup. Yum. All right, you can see the chicken in there. You can see the artichokes, the celery, the spinach, the carrots. That's a good bite. Okay, I'm gonna get a good bite here. All right. I love lemon. I love lemon anything. And this is a really great hearty soup. great with a salad for your dinner. It can be eaten by itself or with something, but very comforting. I was eating a cup of the soup yesterday, and I told my husband this is like one of my favorite comfort foods. It just is so good. It sticks to your ribs. It makes me happy and it makes me full. And I'm trying these days to just associate food with happiness and not with guilt and not with the shame that I used to associate it with before bariatric surgery, because it doesn't matter what nationality or what religion you are. It doesn't matter where, if you work outside of the house or in the house, food is at the center of our universe. Whether it's a work potluck or a family tradition, we're never going to escape it. And so we need to learn to coexist with food. We need to learn to eat to live, not live to eat. But you can still do it with the utmost joy and with the utmost respect for yourself. And I think this is a really good way that we can do that. Okay, so you're going to get the recipe today at 3:30, 9 more minutes. If you have any questions about any of the products I used or anything really, please make sure you utilize our Facebook page. Remember, I've got a TikTok page, I've got a YouTube page, lots of resources. We've got a great community of over 65,000 people on our Bariatric and Tips Facebook page. So let's just all band together and figure out a way to have our soup and eat it too, okay? Make sure above all you're finding joy in the journey, because that is where you'll find your smile, okay? It's been great. Thanks for hanging with me. You're gonna see me turn this off here in a second, so I'm gonna get close, but thanks for hanging in there with me, okay? Have a great rest of the day. Bye.